Hi, grade fives. Sure, I have loved learning all about fractions. But we need to spend a bit more time on equivalent fractions. I haven't checked every class, but I saw that some of the children in my class were still getting a little bit confused. The first important thing to remember is you can only have an equivalent fraction of the same whole. For example, half an apple and half a pizza, although they're both halves, are going to be very different sizes. So you need to be careful that you are not getting confused and trying to compare fractions that are different wholes. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit more about equivalent fractions while we watch this video that I found. Let's listen carefully.
Equivalent fraction. Here is 1 whole pie, and here is 1/2 of the pie. Here are 2/4 of the pie. Here are 4/8 of the pie. These fractions show the same share of the pie. This means these fractions are equal or equivalent. Notice how the numerator and the denominator of the fraction both increase by a factor of 2. You can find equivalent fractions by multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the same number. You can also find equivalent fractions by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Let's learn more about equivalent fractions by looking at more examples. Are these two fractions equivalent?
Right, so let's think about that, guys. She said that an equivalent fraction, if you want to test if you're right or not, you can times the numerator and the denominator by the same number, or you can divide them. Let's have a look. So 2 to 4, I would have to times by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. So yes, I think that these are equivalent. Let's see if we are correct.
Yes, because there is a number that both the numerator and the denominator can be multiplied by
Yay!
to get to the equivalent fraction. What about these two? Are they equivalent fractions?
Well, let's have a look. Now, I can see straight away that there's nothing I can times 3 by to get to 1, but I can divide. Have you got the answer? Yes, 3 divided by 3 will give me 1, and 12 divided by 3 will give me 4. So, I think they are equivalent. Let's see if we're correct.
Yes, there is a number that both the numerator and the denominator can be divided by to get to the equivalent fractions. How about these two fractions? Are they equivalent?
So let's have a look, because it's very difficult by just looking at the picture to see if they're equivalent or not. There's nothing I can times 2 by to get to 3, or divide 2 by to get to 3. And there's nothing I can times 3 by to get to 4, or divide 3 by to get to 4. So I don't think these are equivalent. Let's have a look.
They are not equivalent. There is no number that both the numerator and the denominator can be multiplied or divided by to get to the other fraction. One last example with these two fractions.
Again, it's very difficult by just looking at the picture, guys, because they might look similar, but they may not be. So we need to be more accurate than that. In this case, we've got to work out what is the fraction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 are colored in. So it's 2/5. And then here we've got, I'm going to start on the first white one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So this is 20ths. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is showing me 8 20ths. So 2/5 and 8 20ths. Well, if I think about my numerators, I can say 2 times 4 will give me 5. And my denominators, 5 times 4 will give me 20. So yes, I think they are equivalent. Let's see what she says.
They are equivalent because there is a number that both the numerator and the denominator can be multiplied by to get the equivalent fraction. We have now seen how to find equivalent fractions. Let's finish the lesson by seeing why we have really just been multiplying and dividing by 1. We have found equivalent fractions by multiplying or dividing the top and bottom by the same number. This is the same as multiplying or dividing the fraction by another fraction that has an equal numerator and denominator.
Oh, okay, I understand. So when we said 2 times 2 is 4 and 3 times 2 is 6, because we have to use the same number, we know that 2, if you've got 2 of the 2 pieces, you've got the whole thing. If there are only 2 pieces and you've got both of them, you have the whole thing. So we're actually saying 2/3 times 1. And I remember what we were taught in grade 4. We called it 1 in disguise. Remember, guys, we spoke about 1 who can be seen in different forms. So he goes into disguise. And when we're doing fractions, this is the same as 1. Oh, so interesting. Let's see with the others. Yes, so here for our second example, we divided by 3, and the denominator we divided by 3, which could be written as 3/3, which is the same as 1. This is interesting. Here's another one, our last one. We said 2 times 4 was 8, and 5 times 4 was 20. So again, we had 4/4. Written like that, it's actually times by 1. That is so interesting. I wonder what she's going to teach us about now. Let's listen.
Any fraction that has the same numerator and denominator is equal to 1.
Oops, let me go back to that one. We have learned this at the very beginning of learning fractions. I'm sure even down in grade 3. We learned that if you have cut something into 2 pieces and you have got both of those pieces, it's 1. Even if there are 16 pieces and you have all 16, it's 1. So any fraction that you see that has the same numerator and denominator will equal 1.
Any fraction that has the same numerator and denominator is equal to anything multiplied or divided by 1 does not change.
Ah, I'm beginning to understand where she's going with this. If you take a number like 5 and you times it by 1, 5 doesn't change. It remains the same. And the same if you divide it by 1, it doesn't change. So you can take a number like this. Remember, in some places they use commas instead of spaces between the different houses. So this would be 2,645,879. And even a big number like that, if you times it by 1, it's not going to change. Or if you take a number like 33 and divide it by 1, it's not going to change. So 1 never changes the amount if you times or divide it.
This is why multiplying or dividing a fraction by another fraction that has the same numerator and denominator results in an equivalent fraction.
Okay, that makes sense, guys, because remember we said if you say 5 times 1, the 5 stays the same. And with a fraction, if we've got 2/5 and we times it by 1, we're still left with 2/5. But all that they've done is change the amount of pieces, but the size of the pie stays the same. That is amazing. So here we've got our 2/5. In this case, we times it by 3, and we got 6/15. But actually, 2/5 and 6/15 are the same. I wonder what would have happened if they had multiplied it by 4. 2 times 4 would have given me 8, And 5 times 4 would have given me 20. So I would have had 8/20. That is amazing. Let's see what else she wants to teach us.
Finding equivalent fractions is very useful when we are looking for common denominators to help with adding, subtracting, and comparing fractions. The other lessons in the
Okay, so there wasn't much more that she needed to teach us, but I found that very interesting. And guys, I don't know about you, but since we've been learning about fractions, I am just seeing fractions everywhere. So what we're going to do, because I don't have much time left on this video, is I'm going to make another video to show you all the amazing fractions that I've found. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.